Each month of 2026, I've challenged myself to create commercial spec ads. Creating such projects with zero budget, that's very difficult. I've been in this industry for over 4 years now, and I wanted to do something different. Rather than creating social media advertisement for some companies or businesses, I wanted to challenge myself for a whole another industry, because I wanted to be a filmmaker by the end of this journey. So my first project had to be a New Year vibe or some Christmas times, such similar vibes, you know. The general idea was around a kid, because my fiance's nephew, Yaroslav, he's an actor. Even though he's 9, he's doing such good stuff. And I wanted to use him since he's here, because he's not gonna be here for very long time. And I also had my fiance's father, which was one of the actors together with Yaroslav in my first ever short film. I will attach that video somewhere here, so you'll be able to watch it. Since this is a commercial spec ad, I needed to find a brand. And I always think of a chocolate brand. It represents a New Year vibe from my perspective. That's when Wedel came to my mind, because they are the biggest and by far the best chocolate brand in whole Poland. And these all projects are made in Poland. I made some research about Wedel's commercials, and some of them were really nice, and I realized that they use kids a lot. So I had to use Yaroslav for this commercial. But you know, when I mentioned that I live in Poland, the weather sucks. So I had to came up with an idea that I will use outside shootings as least as possible. But at the same time, I needed to show that this winter time and this New Year vibe must be the main thing. I bring everything together and I created a script. It needed to be short, not frustrating, because I'm the director, I'm the DOP, and I'm trying to handle all the lighting. My assistant is my fiance. She was not all the time available to help me, so I had to be calm and not rush. I've used Sony FX30, which is my main camera, together with Tamron 17 to 70mm f2.8. Most of our shootings, this is my main setup. Also, I use a couple of lights, reflectors, so I bring everything together on Milanote together with my references, and on day 1 we had shooting at home. In our first scene, while he's sleeping, lighting setup was simple. So on these parts we had Godox SL60 with double diffusion on it, and we wanted to soften it as much as possible, because we had so many practical lights, candles, tube, New Year lights, these small LED lights, and we had another tube here. So I wanted to make it simple but effective. So on this side, maybe it's not seen, but we had a black curtain. We could use this negative fill on his close-up side. But since this is a shot where I come closer to the talent, I needed to start from wide when it comes to lighting, so that when I go in too close to his side, I could arrange my lights better. But when I'm on the wide side, it's more difficult. That's why this light was easy for me to control. So the idea that he sees Wedel chocolate here, so this is the direction of the light, and from here we had another small LED light, because this side was dark as they are highlighting this side. So if you see these edges of the object, very tiny but highly effective light beams come through to the object, which is good for me, because the first goal of starting such challenge, I needed to learn how to use the light in the best efficient way, using more contrasts, using shapes, controlling the shadows, and making the light as soft as possible. So these 4 are my priorities, and I wanted to implement all of those ideas into my commercial film. On post-production, I scale up the saturation and the contrast, the chocolate. And another thing why I use such a packaged chocolate is because it's the contrast color of the warm atmosphere. Before I start shooting, I went to grocery shop and tried to find the best fitting chocolate. I needed to think about the color and packaging, and from my perspective it was the best. And the other thing you will see on the next frame, in our outdoor shots, it implemented the vibe of the coldness, but at the same time something interesting. So on this frame I needed to pan fastly. I tried it with my tripod, it was difficult to make it, so I decided to go with my gimbal. But it was difficult for them to understand my vision, so it took like 30 minutes to explain what I'm trying to do, because after the pen tool left, the grandfather had to wait and do this move. When I turned back, panning right, the kid still had to look at him, and after that he will go running. So it was difficult to explain the idea, but at the end we found the best shot. After he ran, I told him just fell from somewhere, so that we could go to second location, which is outside. I told you I live in Poland and it's pretty cold outside. We had to plan very well before we shoot. So me, my fiance and her parents, and Yaroslav. We went to a natural park where you don't see so many people, so it was good for us. And I told him to get up, check around, see the chocolate, take it and run. So after 14th try, we found the shot. And on this part, on post-production, I used some maskings together with roto brush on After Effects. It took 1.5 days just to make this effect. I wanted to position chocolate almost on the edge of the frame, so from his perspective it is a little bit far that he needed to lean on and take it. So I wanted to have this perspective. And I think one of the best lessons that I gained from this shooting, communicating with the talent. When you communicate with your talent well enough, when they understand what you mean and what you desire, everything goes much smoother. Of course, creating such thing wouldn't be possible without my fiancée and her parent, because they helped a lot. So I hope you like this breakdown, and see you on the next time on February 2nd commercial. Bye bye.